We have a plague of rats infesting this country. 300 million they're talking about. I don't quite know how you estimate the population of rats. They go around counting them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I don't suppose they do it like that. But it is very, very worrying that there are 300 million rodents rampaging around Britain because they carry a lot of diseases. And interestingly, the new reason for this sudden surge in the rat population may well be what I always call the scourge of working from home. Obviously, when people are at home, they produce a lot more household waste. If you're out for 10 hours a day at work, you know, in the old days, most homes were empty most of the day because people were all out at work or at school. So they don't produce any waste during those days. Now they're not. They're all there, allegedly working, probably watching Netflix and things like that, and producing a lot of waste. There's a report the other day that said working from home probably increases your daily food intake by about 800 calories because people snack a lot on all of that, which produces rubbish, which produces rats. Let's talk to pest and hygiene consultant Andrew Dellbridge. Afternoon, Andrew.
Hello, Kevin.
Is that a plausible reason for this sudden surge in the population of rats, that people working from home are causing a great deal of rubbish, of garbage, of household waste, and that is fertile ground for rodents?
That would be an easy target, but you're nearly there. So if we roll back to COVID times, so pre-COVID times, rats would have a rhythm. So we'd go to work, they'd hide out the way. And on a Friday and Saturday night, they know that we're out drinking and eating in the streets and the cities, and they'd hide out the way then. So they had a pattern to their lives. So they'd duck and dive and keep to certain...
Sorry to interrupt you. So in their rodent way, this is extraordinary. They were observing our lives to work out their routine that would get them food, yeah?
Absolutely.
Extraordinary.
And our footfall, it developed their way of where they went, where we didn't go. So our pattern affected their pattern of activity. So all of a sudden, we took all of our activity away, and they started branching out into new areas. So what's created now is this perfect storm that these rats have moved into new areas, which is homes and businesses that they haven't been into before. And by doing so, created more problems. You alluded to rubbish. We are so messy, aren't we? So I've been walking through our city of Norwich today, a beautiful city. But if you look around your feet, there's rubbish everywhere and there's litter everywhere. And we're chucking stuff here and there. No disrespect to the councils and those that clean up behind us, but they're all on the budget, the same as the rest of us. So they've got budget restraints, so they're not cleaning quite probably as much as they used to. And so there's everything we could give the rats, we are giving to them in shovelfuls at the minute. So they're getting food, they're getting shelter, they're exploring new areas. And also we've got another issue. So if you live in Essex or Hampshire, Cheshire, places like that, Norfolk, there's a big issue around resistance to the bait. So the bait that I can use is become, it just won't work anymore. So
why is that, Andrew?
I won't bore you with the fine science.
Don't overdo it, but are they become immune to it?
So we've had many generations of bait, and they've become immune to each generation. So we're now lurching along on the third generation of bait, and we haven't got a fourth generation. And here in Norfolk and Essex and various other areas, we're running out of options. So we are, super rat is perhaps the wrong word, but we are creating a rat that is, we're helping it out in many ways.
How big can rats get, Andrew?
Well, you must have heard people say rats as big as cats.
Is that true?
No.
Well, how big do they get then?
Not as big as cats.
What's the biggest rat you've ever encountered? What's the biggest rat you've ever encountered?
Not as big as a cat.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, but what sort of length?
So most households I go to and business premises, they get me out and they're petrified. And I think all spiders are as big as tarantulas because I don't like spiders, but they're not. Okay. So I rock up to these houses and they say, Andrew, we've got a rat as big as a cat and I'm terrified. We're ready to move out of the house and move to another county. and they're tiny little, and then sometimes they're even mice. So, should I answer your question? What's the biggest rat I've seen? Large rats.
Yeah, go on then. Give me a length. It's all right. It's not a national secret. Go on.
Well,
what, 6 inches, 8 inches?
But gentlemen are very difficult with inches, aren't they? So
all right, feet then. I'm not sure what territory we're on now, but go on. Well, do it with your hands, you know, that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, but now we're not on radio.
I've only got one hand. There you go.
So,
no, do it now. Do it now. Show me with your hands. Right, other hand in. Other hand in.
Right, shall we go left or right?
Right, go right.
What will help my case? So if you go on to Ace Pest Control Norfolk on YouTube or any of our social media, there are many pictures of big rats. So that may help answer your question in a different way.
Okay, so they get pretty big, but as you say, I don't think people are that worried about the size. They're worried about the number of them. You indicated earlier, Andrew, that they're very ingenious animals, pretty smart animals, I'm assuming. But can you just tell us a little bit about the dangers they pose to humans? Because they are germ carriers, aren't they? What are the dangers of rats?
So things like E. coli, salmonella, and a whole host of nasties that they can give us. And the main thing that I like to get out to people is prevention. So we want to stop them living with us. They can live with their neighbours, they can live out in the street, but not living with us. There's a mass population living within our sewers, so they will come up our toilets. So keep your toilet lid down. That is the first piece of advice.
I will. Now you're telling me that.
But we get masses of calls from autumn right the way through the winter where rats are coming up the toilet. And if they can't come out of your toilet, they will eat through the downpipe and create... So, yeah, it's quite a shocking situation. They will eat through. So when you flush your toilet waste will then go down through the cavity and quite often leak through the house.
Last question, Andrew. Great talking to you. Thank you so much. What could we do right now to start to quell this problem we have with rats? How could we start to reduce their numbers? What should we be doing?
Right, it's the autumn time now, so less food attractions. So don't feed the birds, block all the holes around your house, check your sheds and your loft areas. If you've got pets, don't leave pet food out in the kitchen, because if rats access the house, they will access your pet food. Go around the perimeter of your house and make sure all your air vents are blocked and put a little bit of fine mesh on there. Compost bins, don't put food in compost bins. And that's probably about it for now, isn't it?